Hello, friends. The 1318th day of the war between Russia and Ukraine continues. Russian forces continue to advance along the border between the Dnipropetrovsk and Zaporizhzhia regions. They captured 3 settlements at once, Orikhiv, Berezovy, and Huliaipole. They also advanced into Verbovy and south of Novopavlivka. Having captured Verbovy, the enemy resumed their advance, and their main line is now westward along a narrow corridor along a forest belt toward Vishnevy. The tactics are the same as at Verbovy: rapid advances by small units with covering fire, searching for weak spots in our defenses, and attempts to consolidate in tree-lined areas and depressions, writes a Ukrainian soldier with the call sign Muchnoy. Muchnoy also believes that the Russians are preparing a new offensive in the Dnipropetrovsk region further north, in the Novopavlivka direction. There are indications that the enemy has begun planned preparations to isolate and storm Novopavlivka. The objective is to cut off the approaches, push us out of the bridgehead, and open a corridor for assault units, the soldier writes. What exactly have I been observing for several days now, and why is it important? First, the enemy used a 3-ton aerial bomb on supply lines and targets through which logistics pass. A strike on the northern bridge, which runs to Mezhova, and a direct attack on our linear supply lines. The logical goal is to paralyze the supply of ammunition, the evacuation of the wounded, and reinforcements. Second, combing the approaches with aircraft, airstrikes on the approaches from the east, not only to destroy positions, but to comb the terrain, burn shelters, expose our positions, or force them to open. Even if our forces are not there, bombs and shells leave scars for the offensive and block rare defensive routes. Artillery suppression and complex shelling, with large munitions, are classic preparations for an assault. Their task is to destroy strongpoints, force us to abandon cover, and create a field for assault units. I see a systematic approach. Not isolated incidents, but a coherent package. Strikes at logistics, sweeping the approaches, artillery preparation. Not just random shots, as they say, but a systematic preparation for the start of combat operations on the approaches to the Novopavlivka bridgehead, Muchnoy analyses. Military expert Miroshnikov writes that the front line's collapse in the Novopavlivka direction continues at a rapid pace, with no end in sight. The personnel changes made in the corps responsible for the direction are good. But questions about the organization of the defense at the highest level remain. The sector hasn't been reinforced yet. The corps is fighting with what it already has, and it was already seriously understaffed. For some reason, they don't want to provide reinforcements. Literally 1 or 2 battalions could make a difference, and it wouldn't necessarily require assault battalions. But no, they're not giving anything, and the enemy is already setting their sights on the Pokrovsky-Ternuvati line. If they succeed, the Russians will simultaneously threaten to encircle Huliaipole, create a left flank envelopment around Orikhiv, and even attempt to advance on Vilniansk. The outlook, as you can see, is bleak. And the worst part is that nothing is being done about it yet. There are no organizational or management decisions from the highest levels, and the collapse continues, writes Miroshnikov. In the Dobropillia sector, the deep state map shows advances by the Ukrainian Armed Forces. It claims that Ukrainian troops have liberated Novi Shakovy and pushed back the enemy at Commander-in-Chief and Zaporizhzhia. Zelensky previously claimed that over 300 square kilometers of territory near Dobropillia have already been liberated and withdrawn from the gray zone, but the deep state map doesn't show such advances. Moreover, a number of Ukrainian military experts continue to question the success of the Ukrainian Armed Forces offensive. Military expert Mashevitz writes that, for the life of me, I don't understand why they're lying about the situation on the front. Novi Shakovy, reported by Deep State, hasn't been liberated. There are no cordons or enemy encirclements in the Dobropillia sector, as Commander-in-Chief Syrskyi claimed. Moreover, the situation continues to deteriorate for the Ukrainian Armed Forces, Mashevitz writes.
Friends, I want to develop and strive for higher quality content, but my 2009 computer does not allow me to do this. If you have the opportunity to help me buy a new computer and make my dream come true, I will be very grateful to you. You will find the link in the description under the video and in the pinned comment. Thank you very much and see you in the next video.